All right, so the last thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at writing our very own multi-step equation and then solving it once we've written it down. So we've got this statement in words that says 3 times the sum of a number and 7 is greater than 5 times the number less 13, right? So what we want to do is we want to unpack this in a way that it makes sense, and then see if we can solve it. All right, write it out and solve it. So we've got 3 times the sum of a number and 7. All right, so, and then is greater than. So this is greater than is just going to be this sign right here, okay? And then 5 times the number less 13. All right, so let's do that left side. Let's do the 3 times the sum of a number and 7. So the first thing you hopefully should see is that we're multiplying 3 times a sum. So that means we're multiplying 3 times something that's getting added together. Okay, and in order to do that, we're going to have parentheses. That's the only way you can multiply by a sum, unless you know the answer to it, and we don't because we're dealing with variables. So then what we're adding is we're adding a number and 7. So you have n and 7. So that very neatly explains what's happening on the left side. And then on the right side, it's 5 times the number, so 5n, less 13, which is a way of saying minus 13. Less 13 just means minus 13. And so now I've got something I know how to work with, right? So let's get rid of these parentheses. If you see parentheses in something that you have to solve, man, that should be a red flag to get rid of that right away. So we got 3n plus 21 is greater than 5n minus 13. So my next step is I'm going to move everything over. I'm going to move the variables over to the left side just because that's kind of what we've been doing. You don't have to do this. You can move the variable over to the right side. There's nothing that doesn't say you can't. I'm just doing that because I think it's easier for most people to interpret an answer when the variable is on the left side of an inequality. With an equation, it doesn't really make a difference, but with an inequality, it does a little bit, all right? So our 5n's go away over here. You have 3n minus 5n is negative 2n plus 21 is greater than or equal to negative 13. So let's subtract 21 from both sides. Okay, and the reason we're doing that is because we want to get this variable by itself, the term with the variable, and that gives us negative 34, I believe, if I got this right. And then we are going to divide both sides by negative 2, and because we are dividing by a negative number here, and I hope we remember this, because we're dividing by a negative number, we're now turning this thing around. So we got n is less than, and then negative 34 divided by negative 2 is positive 17. Because 34 divided by 2 is 17, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So in order for this to be true, n has to be less than 17. And so I'm taking a look at this problem, and it's looking pretty good. So I think what we'll do next is we'll try plugging a number in and see what we get. So let's plug in 0. You know I love using 0 when I can. But I can use 0 because 0 is less than 17. So let's put 0 in. And then you have 5 times 0 minus 13. So this goes away, leaves you with negative 13 on the left side. And I could even stop and just look at the left side here and say I have 3 times 0 plus 7. Well, that's going to be a positive number. Doesn't matter what it is. It's 21, but I knew it was positive, so as long as it's bigger than a negative number, which it is, that means that, hey, we did this right. So congratulations. Thanks for coming along this kind of convoluted ride here with me, and good luck with these.